The Ghost Flight, true ghost story in New York. The overnight flight from New York to Los Angeles seemed uneventful until the plane passed through a thick dark cloud. The cabin plunged into darkness, with only the faint glow of the interior lights illuminating the tense faces of the passengers. A young woman sitting near the window felt an overwhelming chill. She turned to look outside, only to see not the night sky, but a pale face, featureless, with no eyes or nose, just a grotesque smile stretching wide, as though staring directly at her. She screamed, but when she looked again, there was nothing but the dark night. The eerie feeling returned as she glanced at the seat next to her. The elderly man who had been sitting there since takeoff was now gone, replaced by a patch of blood-soaked fabric on the seat. She held her breath, too scared to move. But as the lights flickered, she saw the marks of fingers pressed against the window outside, as if some creature was trying to drag her out, its bony fingers tapping on the glass with a heart-wrenching scream. The plane continued to fly smoothly, yet no one spoke a word. Passengers began to feel a strange presence, cold winds whispering through the cabin. She felt a sharp pain in her chest, as if something was reaching out from the darkness, ready to devour everything. When she looked out the window again, the face was back. This time, it not only grinned but spoke, "You cannot escape." Suddenly, the plane shook violently, as if someone had grabbed it and was shaking it wildly. Panic erupted among the passengers. Screams filled the cabin. But in that moment, the young woman turned and saw a terrifying sight. The passengers around her now had faces like shadows, empty eyes, and distorted, twisted smiles. She looked down at her hands and saw them slowly fading, as though she was dissolving into the air. A sharp, screeching noise came from outside the window. She turned again to see the ghostly figure, now pressed against the glass, its grin widening, its empty white eyes staring directly at her. Suddenly, everything became still. She felt herself no longer as a human, but as a wandering soul adrift among the dark clouds. The flight was no longer a flight. It was a ghost ship, carrying lost souls unable to find peace. And from then on, whenever that plane flew through the night sky of New York, one could hear the sighs, the whispers of ghosts, as if they were still searching for someone to drag into this cold and eternal void. And she would never leave that flight.